Johnny, here we are again, pre-season. How's it going for the boys 2 weeks in? What's your first thoughts and how's it going?
Well, we're, as I said, 2 weeks in now, so the boys pretty much, to a man, had about 5 weeks of off-season. And to be honest, the majority of them turned up in reasonable nick. There's always one or two that don't follow the off-season program and listen to the advice given to make sure they return in good shape, which is frustrating, but it's the challenge we always have at this time of the year. But for the most part, we're pretty happy. First week or so is for us about developing a bit of a profile around where their priorities need to be going forward. And obviously with no games on, it's an opportunity to build a bit of a base and get some work in that we're going to draw on later in the season. So generally speaking, a lot of strength work, trying to build the base aerobic capacities and sort of those course development priorities early on before we progress to the more specific work later on.
Is pre-season still the time of year that's dreaded, that the players are horrified at the prospect of, or is it professionalism changing that?
I think, our challenge and information that we give to the players is to try and make sure they don't lose the gains they make throughout the year during their break. But there's always, with a long season, they need a chance to refresh in the off-season. So coming back, there's always going to be a bit of hard work required, regardless of how you come back. So to that end, I don't think it has. There's probably been shifts, I think, in the way that we go about that work. I think you go back 10, 15 years and it was always a lot of long, slow, hitting the roads and running, etc. I think that's changed just with the body shapes and the mass that the players carry now and what we know through science in terms of what gives us a good response. So we manage players a little bit differently, but I think the point of the mental side of it, knowing that pre-season is going to be hard work, certainly hasn't changed, and that's what we're trying to achieve as well.
It's not about breaking people, it's about actually getting them in the best shape that they can for the coming challenges.
Yeah, there's an analogy that we use sometimes. To make an omelette, you've got to break a few eggs, but we try and minimise that. But it's a fine line that we work on. We need to push the players. There's to get the adaptations we want. There's a stress required, so we're trying to manage that on a daily basis. There's a spread of players in terms of the way that they come in with their training age, their development priorities. So we need to look at those individually. For example, this year with the World Cup, we've got some older players coming in to complement our squad with the guys that are out. So we'll be careful of the load that they are exposed to try and protect them a little bit. The same token, we've got some younger players that have been promoted who haven't probably developed the cumulative tolerance to the load, so we've got to be careful of them as well. But I think it's still a period where they get to get out and work hard and express themselves, but we're still trying to make some core gains with them, that's for sure.
Is there a particular challenge or goal this pre-season for the squad?
Not anything really, really specific. We have our own in-house sort of targets and around the culture that we're trying to create, and there's certainly no different, I'm sure, to any other squad where there's a lot of accountability and pride in our ability to keep working hard and be disciplined. But I think for us, physically, we want the players, as always, to be in the best shape that they can once we start the season. So we're going to draw on that. When you play for 9 months, we're not going to be able to get the same amount of work in as we would, but we're trying to play a certain style of game. Last year started that, which requires a certain shifts, I guess, in the way that we condition. But ultimately, it's about each player being the best that they can be and us helping sort of work with them and guide them toward those goals.
And that's the challenge for you, Kevin, the rest of the team, to keep them fresh, keep them motivated, keep them going over what's a long summer.
Absolutely. I think pre-season is often a temptation because without the rugby games, to throw in as much as we can, and I think I've been guilty of it in the past as well, where it can sometimes take away from your core objectives. So we need to be mindful of what we're putting into the program to get that, but also the fact that we're here for a long time, based here for 9 months plus. We need to be careful about making sure that the players stay fresh and mentally tuned in. So we'll try and get out of here a few times throughout the pre-season, and like we did last year, we're going to the Knoll. We're going to go to Merthyr Mount this year at the sand dunes, which will be fun. And some other activities just to try and keep it fresh, but also achieve some objectives from our end.
Finally, you've had to grade the squad where they are now, marks out of 10, early in the pre-season. What would you give them, and where do you want to get them to by the time we kick off, start of September?
Oh, it ranges player to player, obviously, but as a group, I think they'd get a pass mark. We're happy with where they're at, but we're always trying to push that. So, if you want a number, I'd say we're a nice, comfortable 7 out of 10, but we've got plenty of room to improve. And the key thing is every team's working hard at this time of year. So, if we sit still, we're going to get overtaken. We've got to keep putting the pressure on to make sure we get the results that we want and can get the game results that we want, which is ultimately what it's all about.